speaking with Jo Frost. Many of you know her as the Supernanny. For over 6 years, she's been giving wonderful parenting advice to people who watch her television show. And I'm speaking with her live today. Jo, welcome to MommyCast.
Thank you, Gretchen.
I'm curious to know from you, parenting expert that you are, what you think the state of parenting is right now.
Well, I think the most important question to ask is not what the state of parenting is right now, but how do parents feel with regards to recognizing what's important in raising kids and how they identify that and what they do about that, and to be able to make up their minds themselves about what they apply. Empowers them as a parent to have more confidence in how they raise their children themselves.
Where do they actually go to get these tools to actually be able to, develop these types of, this type of thought process?
Well, I hope my show has been one of a few that have been able to empower parents. I mean, I certainly know from the feedback that I get that it certainly has made a profound impact, not just in America but worldwide. And there are books like my own that talk about the philosophy of parenting, break down techniques so that parents are able to apply those techniques in their own home with their families to get those results. And we also know from obviously using the internet and having online blogs and websites like yourself, people are able to, collect that resource of information and to be able to have the choice about what they do use. So, there are a lot of advantages of how parents today, 21st century parents, are able to apply those tools and techniques that are out there to have that knowledge to make a difference.
Our children are actually getting older, and I think we made it through that, kind of up to the tween point pretty well. Discipline was good, behavior was fine, and then you get those outside influences coming in, the friends and, whatever else out there, and all of a sudden the children seem to turn on you. So when you're talking about the older children, do you have any wealth of advice that you can offer for that difficult part of parenting?
Yes, I think it's important to recognise that our children, as they get older, have their own opinion, and to be heard and to agree, to disagree, to validate, to talk about and debate an array of subjects that teenagers come into contact with because of outside peers, because of social media, the influences of television and people around them. Having that relationship with your child where it's very open and you can discuss those conversations very lightly, doing the things you would do in the home, allows you to stay connected to your kids. And when you're not connected to them, then you don't know. You don't know what they're thinking. You don't know where they're going, what they're doing. So you hope that everything that you've done in those tween years has created that very healthy relationship between yourself and your child as they become a teenager to continue, and that all the principles that you have laid down and the values that have been very close to your heart in how you raise your children certainly come into play as they become pre-teenagers and teenagers.
Right, exactly. Well, I know today, Jo, you're actually talking about something that's really important to you, and that is this exercise-induced bronchospasm. Can you maybe explain a little bit to our listeners and our viewers what that is?
Yes, certainly. Exercise-induced bronchospasm is not just personally important to myself, but I really do believe it's important to 30 million standing right now in America who have asthma and EIB. It's a medical symptom that happens during exercise and afterwards. And those symptoms are tightening of the chest and wheezing. Currently, 80 to 90% of people who have asthma also have EIB as well, which is a very, very large number when you think about that. We know that it's very important, but there's a real lack of awareness out there in America with exactly what EIB is and how we can have that under control. I take an inhaler 20 to 30 minutes before I become very active, and it allows me to keep those medical symptoms under control so that I'm not wheezing and my chest is not going tight, I'm not feeling fatigue, so that I can actually enjoy the experience of having that healthy lifestyle. And we want adults, we want children to be able to do the same, because we want to be able to keep on a decline diabetes, heart disease, obesity in adults as well as in children.
And we all know that exercise is really a key thing that everybody's talking about, especially here in America, where we have the childhood obesity epidemic that has just skyrocketed.
I think it's so important as well, because, you know, we see not just with parents as well, but also with adults. You know, there's the longer working hours, there's the child that's on the computer games, and a real lack of activity, and also the fear that if one does participate in sports as an adult or a child, that it's going to certainly take over their breathing symptoms and then, you know, create an asthma attack or EIB. And so having the control with using an inhaler allows us to feel really empowered that we're able to do what we want to be able to do to the max, and let our kids enjoy being kids, and let us as adults live our lives the way that we want to be able to. Now, I've partnered with EIB, and you can log on to get more information and knowledge, and I would advise everybody to do that. It's on www.eibactive.com, where you can download an enormous amount of information and knowledge, and when you have that knowledge you can make those changes.
Real quick, Joe, I know that you have said that Supernanny has now come to a close, but you have another show called Extreme Parental Guidance. Can you just tell our viewers a little bit about that?
Yes, I do. Extreme Parental Guidance is a show that I have in the UK. I'm in my second season successfully, and it's looking at 21st century issues and how we empower parents. It certainly does everything that the world knows me for doing, and that's empowering parents, giving them education and knowledge, and I certainly enjoy making that in the UK. And I'm looking forward, as I've laid Supernanny to rest, bringing more TV to America, where parents can continue to learn and get that knowledge and feel like they're really enjoying the experience.
Great. Thank you, Joe, so much. It's been great talking to you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And for more information on Joe and all of her projects, please go to mommycast.com or catch us on Facebook.